Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to We Live, Women Emerge Live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another empowering episode of We Live, where we encourage, empower, push, and celebrate women from all walks of life to live boldly in the power of God in every area of life. I'm your host, your friend, your confidant. I am Prophet L.R. Shaw, and I am so honored you've joined us tonight. This is more than a talk show. It's a divine movement where women are ignited to emerge, evolve, and elevate. Tonight, I have a very special We Live guest, Apostle Dr. Sheldon Hudson. She is the founder of Across All Boundaries Christian Church, a powerful and non-denominational outreach ministry with campuses in Columbia, South Carolina, and Knoxville, Tennessee. For over 40 years, Apostle Hudson has empowered others to discover their God-given purpose through teaching, outreach, and leadership training. She holds a doctorate in theology and is a visionary behind Yada Ministries and Crossing Boundaries School of Ministry in partnership with Oral Roberts University Bible Institute. Her impact doesn't stop at the pulpit. She leads several entrepreneurial and community initiatives, including, and I may say this wrong, Rets, Abba's Kitchen and Closet, and Destiny Daughters Finishing School. She's also a poet, author, artist, and visionary whose life and legacy continue to inspire generations. So get ready to be stirred, strengthened, and stretched as we dive into a powerful conversation with a true general in the kingdom. Welcome to We Live, where women emerge in the power of God. Now, I need you to do something before I bring the woman of God on. I need you to share. Let us know that you're here. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Share, share, share. And if you have a friend, if you have a sister, if you have somebody that you say, I want them to hear this, but they're not on Facebook or social media, guess what? I got something for you. They can go to YouTube to KVan's channel at KVAN Global, and that's our channel. So go to that channel and share it with your friend, your sister, your mother. Share it with someone and say, hey, you need to hear this. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you Dr. Sheldon Hudson. Hello, woman of God.
Hello, how are you? It's good to see you.
Hello.
It's good to see
How are
you.
you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Doing great, doing great, doing great.
Good.
All right. I need people to let us know that they can hear us. You can comment in the comment section, make sure that we can hear that you can hear us. Let's see. All right, well, we're going to get started. Prayerfully, you can hear us and everything's good. Okay. Thank you, Emily. You can hear. All right. We got Emily from Kentucky. Welcome. Welcome. Yes. So I'm excited for this powerful woman of God to be here. So I have a question. Welcome, Apostle Hudson. Can you start by sharing a little about your journey in ministry and what led you to where you are today?
Oh, wow. Well, yes. I've been in ministry close to 40 years. Did not start out in leadership, started out, of course, in church, serving on different auxiliaries, come out of the Baptist church, St. Luke Baptist Church in Winsboro, South Carolina. And when I got saved and saved for real, decided I would just do what the Bible said do. I volunteered. I volunteered time, effort, and monies, and just began to work and found myself drawn to outreach ministry, especially involving women who were displaced for one reason or another. And that's really how my journey began. And as I progressed through that, ended up, receiving the call to do ministry, served my church faithfully for years and years, and then told my pastor, I felt as though I was called to do ministry, was licensed and ordained in the Baptist church, and then got the call to pastor. And that's how my church started. Church started 25 years ago. But like I said, I have been in ministry close to 40 years. 40 years. So that's pretty much my journey. And I find that I have
Wow.
anointing from God for women, for women. But I am a pastor of all peoples, yes.
Wow. Wow. So, what inspired, no, can you tell us about the core mission and vision of your ministry?
Oh, the core mission and vision of my ministry is predominant. Well, the church, if we're going to talk about across all boundaries, is teaching, teaching and outreach. So predominantly, the church is a teaching church. We adhere to the Hebratic, meaning we lean on the studies of the Holy Scriptures, especially Old Testament. Uh, I'm Geechee Gullah or Gullah Geechee. I'm from the Low Country. I'm from Charleston, and that part of my heritage plays a big part in my faith because I've been taught from the time of a child that a people who know not where they come from know not where they're going. So when I got serious about my faith, I did a deep dive. I did a deep dive on what was Christianity, what was the roots of my church, and that's how I ended up a teacher. Uh, I've studied and I still study and have mastered a portion of the Hebraic language and the ancient scrolls, the ancient languages. I love to see not just the Holy Scriptures, but any teaching in its original form. What did it mean in the time it was given to the people or in the time that it was said? What was the culture? And so that's I guess the uniqueness of Across All Boundaries is we search for the core because the root of a thing can sometimes be completely different from what you see flowering on the outside. So I did that deep dive for the roots of the church. Um, we by all means one Lord, one faith, one baptism. Jesus born of a virgin, sojourned in the earth 30 and 3 years, died on a rugged cross, resurrected, now sits at the right hand of God the Father. We have that in common. But my understanding of the instructions of the Bible is what I was digging for. What does this originally mean? What did it mean to the people in the time it was spoken? And how does it relate to me today? Does it even relate to me today where I'm at? So that's pretty much an outreach. Absolutely. Absolutely. We are an outreach ministry from the day or before the day that we started the ministry. We are that church that we're out there, boots on the ground. We're taking in people into homes, sheltering people, feeding people, providing for people. That's the mission. To me, that's the mission of the church. The mission of the church is to help those who are disenfranchised, those who are uh, for whatever reason, separated from God, or are in need of just practical things. I think sometimes we get so carried away with the spiritual part of the church, we forget that there's practicality. Matter of fact, more of the Bible talks about the practical nature of man than it does about the spiritual nature of man. So that's across all boundaries.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
That's amazing. Um, one thing is funny, and we have something in common. I'm Geechee too. I'm from the Low Country. I'm from King Street, South
Okay.
Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm from King Street, South Carolina. So I do understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's an awesome and amazing mission and vision. So you've been a powerful voice for women in ministry for many years. What does empowerment mean to you in the spiritual and practical sense?
Okay. What does empowerment means to me in the spiritual and practical sense? Let's talk about the spiritual first, since we are saved women. Empowerment is, to me, knowing who you are, not being intimidated by who you are, and operating as who you are. Uh, I believe there is no empowerment without support. And that's one of the issues that we have in church. A lot of times people know what their, let's just say, superpower. Let's spiritualize it. We know what our superpower. Mine is teaching. Absolutely. I'm an intellectual. I don't shrink back from that. I don't make apologies for it. That's my superpower. And so knowing what your superpower is, operating in it. But in order to do that, especially in church, you really need a support system. And so that, to me, that's what empowerment, and not being afraid or ashamed, intimidated, or feel as though your superpower is any less than anyone else. Culture sometimes dictate what people are drawn to. We have Black culture in the church. We have Caucasian culture. We have Latino. We have Hebraics. All of these cultures are different. And whatever culture you find yourself in, it's going to lean towards a certain flavor. And to be different sometimes in that, you don't feel as though you're as powerful or as impactful as what is displayed in your particular culture. To be empowered is to say, I really don't care. It is who I am, and it's my portion of the body of Christ and what I am to do. It was a long, long, long time before the church as a whole accepted me uh, in my empowerment, because I come out of a Baptist church. Well, originally I come out of the AME church, but the AME church with an African flair, Gullah Geechee. So Low Country, the AMEs are the powerhouses. And then I really got my training for ministry in the Baptist church, that hard preaching, the sensationalism, nothing wrong with that. And so it took a long time for my superpower to be embraced in the church. And to be empowered is, you have to realize that comes from God. It is your anointing. It is the part of God in you that's being displayed. And you need support in that. So empowerment works two ways: is being sure of who you are, operating in it. And then I'm truly one who believes nothing is done by self. Everybody needs a team. That team might just be somebody who's saying amen when nobody else seems to be getting it. That's what empowerment spiritually means. Now, empowerment physically are, manifest in the natural. It's a lot along the spiritual lines, just knowing who you are and not being threatened or intimidated. I think it's a lot of competition, and I don't mean that um, even in a negative way, but it's a lot of competition, especially amongst women, when we're unsure. And a lot of times we're unsure because people just don't support you when you are empowered in the natural, in the physical. You get to that place that doesn't matter who does or who does not support me. I've got a mission. I've got a gift, and it's okay to celebrate your gift. So yeah, that's empowerment.
That is so important because even how you brought it all together from where you were,
Hmm.
you know, through the history of where you are now. That's so important, especially for women, because there is a lot of competition. There's not a lot of support within each other, and pushing and empowering and, encouraging. There's not a lot. It's a lot of tearing down and a lot of, trying to get ahead, when if we just work together, we can accomplish so much together in support and building. And so that is very important. And that even showing, your authenticity, it's important that everybody's different, you know. Um, I may be a teacher, but I can't teach like you. We all are different. We have our own sphere when it comes to the giftings. And so we don't have to compete with anyone because, we are who God made us to be. And we just need to walk in that and be bold and confident in that. And so that is so important. That is so important. And, being a woman, there is a challenge. It's a big challenge, especially in the body of Christ, to face in ministry. What challenges have you seen women face in ministry, and how do you help them overcome these barriers?
Okay. That's a loaded question. Again, I was really gifted. My pastor is deceased. He was Dr. Roy C. Jeffcoat out of the Baptist Church, a powerhouse, uh, uh, a legacy of preachers, and the Jeffcoats in South Carolina, a known name, but his support and his vesting, I would say, really provided open doors for just not myself, but for other women. At one time, we had 7 females in a missionary Baptist church. We would, um, tease him all the time. Why are we even still calling ourselves missionary Baptists? And he supported us. He taught us. He embraced us. And when we would even go to conventions, he gave us opportunity. He pushed us out front. He made sure that we were not behind. He made sure that everyone realized, if you get me, you get them. And so the endorsement of a voice makes all the difference in the world. And even with that endorsement, it was hard. It was absolutely hard because certain doctrines say that women cannot lead in the church of the living God. And so, and when I began to pastor, I really felt it. I was protected as long as I was ministering and up under his banner. But when I began to pastor, I felt it. I really felt it. Um, Being called a Jezebel from the book of Revelation, uh, being called a home wrecker, because literally some women in my church when we first started, they were attending my church and their husbands were attending other churches with their agreement. It was no disagreement between the couple, but people felt as though they had a right to weigh in and that the couple should worship together. And so I've seen all kind of challenges, The area I was in, a pact was made amongst the leader that no one would invite me in to, or invite my church in to minister in their pulpits, which was fine with me. That's not, I think what women have to realize, what anyone has to realize, we have a mission given to us, and you can't get so entangled with what people think, who accepts, who invites, who undergirds, or who supports do your mission. And so it didn't matter to me. And that lasted for 7 years. For 7 years, me and mine were locked out, but we flourished. We were bigger than all of the churches that surrounded us that said they would not allow. We did more works. We saw more souls saved. Signs, wonders, and miracles were operating in our church without the support of one church or one leader. And because I was determined, I was just going to do what God had told me to do. I was a pastor, and my focus and my agenda was to pastor the people God had given me. It wasn't to preach about how we were not accepted. It wasn't to preach about all of the foolishness, because we went through some things. Literally, witchcraft was worked on the land that we had bought. We had deer, stags' heads left on our properties. We'd had human feces spread on our door. All kind of things was happening, but I stayed focused on my call was to pastor these people. And that's all my call was. I didn't turn to the left nor to the right. Matter of fact, I didn't know all that was being done or said in the community during those 7 years because I closed my ear. I didn't allow it. I wasn't looking for it, and God protected. So when the time of testing was done and I began to hear, it was hard. I believe if I had heard that during the time, it would have done something to me. So today, I am that one who support women who are just starting out, women who are facing challenges, denominational challenges, or just people. I'm that one. I'm that cheerleader. I'm that support that looks, sis, you can do this, but you got to keep your head down. I believe I was one of God's trailblazers in ministry, that I would be able to reach back. Good evening, Sister Faith. I would be able to reach back and encourage sisters who were coming along. So a lot of the ministries I cover are females, and a lot of them are small churches who face who are now facing what I had to face. But I'm not bitter, and absolutely not at all. God really did something in the isolation. We don't want to be isolated. But I can remember my grandmother would take me into the house. I'm a tomboy. Absolutely. People don't believe that, but I am a total tomboy. And so I would love to play with my cousins, climbing trees, skating, playing ball. And she wouldn't make anybody else come in the house, but she would pull me in the house and just make me sit still. I believe I probably was what they diagnosed as what ADD now, because I couldn't be still. She would make me just sit still by myself. And my name, they would call me, Red Woman. And when I would really get angry and just begin to explode, she would say, Red Woman, you have to know how to be by yourself. You have to know how to be by yourself. And so everybody else would be playing shit. They'd say, come in the house, Sheldon, in the house. Like, what did I do? I hadn't done anything, but you must know how she isolated me. We avoid isolation, but it's isolation that teaches us so many valuable lessons. The first lesson is you don't need the applause or the approval of other people. I went into my own mind because I am an intellectual. She obviously saw it. I didn't know it. I just knew I didn't need to study. I didn't need to pay attention in class. I could just pass. And she nurtured that gift, I think, not even knowing. So to this day, I'm still a loner. I don't need the applause. If women in ministry are going to make it and really find their superpower and operate in it, isolation is not a bad place. It's a blessed place.
That's so true. That's so true. My mama used to say, rejection is protection. And, you know, just like you, like, I've always been different. I was a tomboy too. I know what you're talking about, in the trees and, playing with my cousins. And I had more boy cousins than girl cousins at my age. And so, yeah, there was, my great grandparents raised me. So, there was a lot of being by myself, and a lot of, not caring what anybody else thought of me. I was just who I am. As I got older, I found myself trying to want to be accepted, but I went right back to, okay, this is who I am. I've always been different. I'm just authentic, and it's okay. And so I really understand that. And a lot of women need to hear that, because there are a lot of women, there are women that are called and chosen to do the work of the kingdom. And they, to let them know that it may not look like what you've seen. It may be totally different than what you've seen, but it's okay, because if God has told you to do it, then he got you, and it is a lot of challenge when it comes to, especially, you hear a lot of people saying, well, men are the head and women are not the head, and, and all of this. And so what would you say to the woman that may be married and is in the situation where, God is calling her to a higher level in the things of God, such as a pastor or so on, and their husband is like, well, the word says the man is the head, and what would you tell that woman? What would you say to her?
Well, it's not really much that I can say. I was blessed that my husband accepted the call. Prayer, you're going to have to pray, because your husband is your head in the natural. Absolutely. You're going to have to pray that God softens a heart or enlighten a mind, that uh, your husband sees the gift of you, not just for himself, but for others. And I know that's why my husband is willing to share me, because I'm a gift to others, and he sees the results of my interaction with other people, not just women, how lives are changed. He sees God in me. So we have to be careful who we marry. We do. The Bible gives good advice. Do not be unevenly yoked with unbelievers. He's not just talking about a saved person married to an unsaved person. You have to have, we need to be going in the same direction, because something's going to have to give. You can't continually walk in different directions and come to the same destination. If we're going differently, we're going to end up in different places. If we're going to end up in the same place, it has to be an agreement of how we're going to get there. And so it's not much I can say to her, but to pray, because if God has put it in you, and and this is my message always, whatever my gift is not a gift only, it's God in me. It is the part of the Creator that he wants to show in the earth, be it song, be it speech, be it youth ministry, whatever, like my intellect, that's God in me. I don't take credit for, especially when profound um, declarations are made. I realize. So the gift in me is God's expression. He wants to release into the earth. He just chose me to unleash him. And so prayer changes things. And then a decision just has to be made. This is what I say, and I truly believe this. If getting you or supporting you in your gifting and where you're going comes at the cost of mind, it's too expensive a price. But before you sign the credit application to receive the goods, make sure you want to pay the price. And a lot of times we marry for wrong reasons. We just do. And then we find out I bought this on credit, but I don't, it's too much for me to pay. My husband, I have a phenomenal husband. I'm his pastor. He's my husband. I'm his prophet. He becomes my prophet. I'm his apostle. He is my apostle. We have absolutely no confusion in the roles. We've been married for going on 45 years. November the 1st will be 45 years. And most of those years have been in ministry. And he absolutely supports me and allows nobody to tell him, because when we first started, people are like, well, man of God, you are a man of God and you're going to preach. And God, he's like, no, that's not who I am. I am here for her. I am her support, her covering, and her protection. And I'm okay being over here. You're not going to push me because of religion and doctoral beliefs, push me into a place that I do not belong. And so it's really, once you in it, you in it. I don't come against marriage. Absolutely not. I'm not going to ever be the one to tell a woman she needs to leave a man. Not because of that. There are some times, because I am that one, no woman was made to be a punching bag. Our religion and our doctrines have really devastated some lives, not just the lives of some women, the lives of some children. But as far as, no, I don't cross those boundaries.
Amen. Amen. But you said some powerful things tonight. And that is needed, especially for our single women that are desiring a husband. They need to know that, especially if they have a call in their life, or they're chosen. They need to know who they're about to sign beside the dotted line with. They need to know. It's important, because things like that can change the trajectory of your life, and it's very important. Yes. So even as you were talking, I saw the balance, even between you and your spouse, how there's a balance there. How do you balance spiritual leadership with mentoring and developing women in business, family, and personal growth? How do you balance that as a leader? Because you're not just a pastor, you're not just an apostle, you're so many an array of various things, leadership titles, you mentor, and you have a family, children, you have all of these things. How do you balance that as who you are right now? How do you balance it?
Okay. That one is the answer to that is easy. And it took me a long time to find this answer. But once I got it, I got it. You need a team. You cannot do it on your own. But that team, everyone on the team needs to believe that you can do and have it all. You can't have naysayers on your team. You can't have people who are trying to pull you in an opposite direction and you feel you have to go. I'm not saying you don't need counsel, because we do, but a team, nobody gets anywhere by themselves. We got to stop that. I did this myself. I'm a self-made, nobody's a self-made nothing. Absolutely not. If you just had someone answering the telephone for you, you still had help. You must have a team, and a team of people who believe that you can have it all and support that. I mentor, as you said, I run my own business, Eretz. Um, I am a mother. I'm currently the caregiver for my son who's in renal kidney failure. We almost didn't have this because he had an episode. You know, I am an apostle. I am a pastor. Apostle and a pastor is not the same. I play dual roles because I'm the apostle of Across All Boundaries International, and I am the pastor of Across All Boundaries Knoxville campus. And I have a husband. I have grandchildren. I have interests myself, but I have a team of people around me. I have a congregation of people who are the best cheerleaders, you know, and the best supporters. You know, they're not those whiny crybabies that, every now and then I have to remind them, okay, I'm going out of town. I need you to show up. Don't disappoint me. But they're supportive. You know, nobody gets anywhere by themselves. And I think a lot of times, especially women, we believe that everybody's against us, everybody's jealous of us, everybody's envious, therefore we got to do it alone. That's the trick of the devil. That is absolutely the trick of the devil. I got so many people working behind the scenes that I know have my best interests at heart. You need a team. Don't, this is me, I don't start any mission without a team. And even with the team, I'm never going to let the team outwork, outvest me. I'm the head. I'm leading. It's like for the women's conference, you know. I tell all of my mentors, my mentees this, and those I cover. Don't ask me to support your vision when you're not the biggest supporter of your vision. Don't ask me to sow into a work or a mission or a conference. You need to be your biggest sower. So I'm always, for what I'm doing, I'm going to be the one who's given the most. And that's how people follow. That's how people follow when they see you're out front and you're giving more than anybody else. You're working. I don't ask anyone to do something that I myself have not done if I qualify to do it. So if we're cleaning out the shed, I'm going to be there to clean out the shed. One of the things I had to get used to when I came to Knoxville was nobody wanted me to do anything, and they had to get used to me, because we had for so long had to do it on our own. But I even come from a ministry. Again, my pastor, we had a Christian school. He was the principal, and his wife was also the assistant principal. He didn't hire people, or we didn't hire people. We did that. So I'm not going to actually, if we're cleaning the shed, we clean the shed together. And so one of the biggest challenges my people had, I'm not talking about anybody's church, they weren't used to that. They weren't used to a leader who was really in the trenches. We got too many people at the command post and not enough in the trenches. And so, yeah, that's that.
And that is so true. That is so true. That's awesome, Apostle Hudson. That to see you working just as much as others are working. You don't see that a lot in churches today. Everybody want to get served, but I share with women all the time. We are servants first. We are servants first. And even from as a leader, we are servants first. And sometimes people just want to get served and not be servants. And so that is so true. So you said something. You talked about this conference a little bit. So we're going to switch gears and go into the segment of the conference. But before I do that, if you're on watching We Live, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm your host, your girl, your friend, your confidant. I am Prophet L.R. Shaw, and I have We Live guests, a special guest with us tonight. I have Apostle Hudson on here, and we're gonna switch gears a little bit and go in and talk about this conference that she has coming up. I'm so excited. And before I start, if you're on here, please share, like, let people know we're on tonight. We live it. We are here. And let people know that they can also watch the replay, not just on Facebook, but we got it too on YouTube. So if you are not a social media person, it's okay. You can go to YouTube and watch it. It's all good. So Apostle Hudson, we're excited about this upcoming conference. What inspired the theme Empowered Women, Empowering Women? And what can attendees expect from the conference on September 19th through the 20th?
Okay. Empowered Women, Empowering Women. I annually do a conference called Isha. And the Isha conference is a conference that I do exclusively to a limited amount of women. Well, it was always the last weekend of October. And last year, God did a flip on us. He told me, I need you to do something else. I want Isha to go Black, because Isha, we would always end with a gala, an all-white gala, all the women. He said, I want Isha to go Black for 2025. I did not know, none of us knew the end of October what 25 would bring. So at the ending gala, I announced Isha was going Black for 2025. And he told me, I want you to take it to Knoxville. It's like, oh God. What? He was pulling me out of my comfort zone, and it's going to be different. I want you to empower women. I want you to bring in women who are already empowered and hook them up, get women in the room who are empowered with women who need to be empowered. Lo and behold, I begin to plan it then. And you see all of these empowerment conferences popping off now. It seems to be the word. But God gave it to me October last year. And it's been forming and it's been formulating. And he told me this. He said, I need the women in Knoxville. I need the sisterhood in Knoxville to begin to mend. I don't know anything about the sisterhood in Knoxville because I'm not a part of it. That's just the honest truth. Purposely, I made some choices 7 years ago when I came to Knoxville to not be a part of the scene, especially the church scene, because I want people to trust me, to know that it was a holistic voice, one that was not influenced by anything or anyone around me. And he alerted me that's what they need. They need someone who is an outsider, but also an insider. You've been in the city long enough. It's time for your voice to be released. And there's a level of trust with your voice because you've not involved yourself in the city. And so empowering women is exactly what it says. I'm bringing in women who have already arrived, who already hold that. Aren't you tired of in the church? It's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. I know I was tired of it. Um, you're going to get it. You're going to get there. So when are we going to arrive? When are we going to get it? And when is it going to manifest? Everybody's not in a holding pattern or waiting. There are empowered women all around us. We just don't know who they are. We're looking to the name and lights of Sarah Jakes, Juanita Bynum. I'm talking about the church now. Let's talk outside of church. An Oprah Winfrey, a Beyonce, a Whoopi Goldberg. We're looking a Kamala Harris, a Michelle Obama. We're so focused on names that are in light. An empowered woman lives around the corner from you. I promise you she does. Because all empowerment is not the same. What do you need to be empowered in? So the women that I am bringing in none of them are from Knoxville. All of them have a connection of some sort to me, but they are willing to come. I wanted this first year because it will be an annual until God says stop. You find with me, when God says it's enough, I don't have a problem walking away from a thing. We hold on to things too long. But they are voices you can trust because they don't know you don't know them. A financial advisor is coming. A corporate beast is coming. One who has survived and is now running ministries for suicide is coming. Medical doctor is coming. But again, the first year, I wanted it to be of purity that, well, you didn't involve anybody in Knoxville. Well, people in Knoxville have been doing things, but you all are not showing up. You're distrustful of them. We need to gain your trust first. Okay. And so I'm bringing these women in and we're going to just pour, myself included. We're just going to pour. You would be surprised at the women who probably have the answer to your problem in their mouth and they live just a few miles from you. Because all empowered women are not rich women. They're not well-known women. They're not women with their names and lights. We will have millionaires present as well as women who still need assistance in living. Because she needs assistance in living doesn't mean she can't empower you in an area because she's lived through something. And because she's a millionaire doesn't mean she's going to open up her pocketbook. You won't even know who they are and just give you. But they are coming in. The women I have chosen, like I said, they are mongrels and beasts in what they do. But honestly, most of them would not even take an honorarium. They are coming as ministry, just wanting. They're not threatened. They're not competitive. They're not stingy. They're not wounded. They're not traumatized. They are coming just to pour their knowledge, their resources, their connections, their wisdom, just to pour it into all of us. Because I might be empowered in one area, but I need empowerment in another area, and that's what I'm bringing in. And that's what God told me to do. And he told me to bring it to Knoxville. And he told me to spare no cost. Now, in saying sparing no cost, that do know that means that it has come out of my pocket. It has come out of my pocket. I'm that one who believes I will never have a conference for me or for my church that we cannot pay for. What we will never do is get on the floor, please don't take this personally, and beg for a budget. Again, if you're not willing to pay for the dream yourself, don't ask anybody else to invest in it. Now, our prayer is that we will recoup that monies, because all proceeds minus budgeting goes towards a project called Safe Haven. Safe Haven is a project that 25 years ago God gave me for my church ministry. It is a place of reset and relaunching for women and children facing life-changing challenges, not women who are victims of domestic abuse, not women who are suffering with any type of addiction, just a woman who, for whatever reason, be it divorce or she's a single mother, she finds herself at a place she just needs time and a place to reset. We have 4 acres of land in rural South Carolina that is ready to receive housing. That's ready. We're ready to put these modules or build on this, that our sisters will have someplace that they can just, catch their breath, be re-educated, get a new trade, be ministered to, have the confidence that their children are being taken care of while they're out trying to get re-educated or get an education, get that degree. And so all proceeds outside of budgeting goes towards the Safe Haven project. In the next 3 years, I put myself on a 5-year turnaround for that. The last 2 years, Isha has been doing it. The land has been cleared. The land has been leveled and landscaped. Now it's time for that land to turn. And I pulled it away from my church and brought it into my personal ministry, Yada Ministry. And so that's where the proceeds are going from this conference, and we're very transparent. Very transparent. If you know anything about 501c3s, you can look up the records. All you have to do is call and ask. Anyone who is curious, is easy to find out. The ministries are not, I have a 501c3 across all boundaries, Christian Church and Outreach Ministries, which is the church end of me. Then I have another 501c3, which is Yada Ministry, which is a nonprofit for-profit, which I do my outreach, my teachings, my books, and my businesses through. So I pulled Safe Haven over into that arena so that it would have a greater reach. This conference is not, let me give a warning, a religious conference. It is not a Christian-only conference. So if you are expecting the singing and the praying and all of the antics and expressions that we have in church, that's not what this is. We have sisters who are not Christian. I know that might offend some of us. We have sisters who might not ever enter the doors of a church. Excuse me. We have Caucasian, we have Indian, we have Asian sisters. If the sisterhood is going to survive, it's going to take all of us together, undivided. And it's going to take us ministering to those taboo areas that the church does not want to touch. Now, most of us are saved. That's just the way the chips fall. But this is not, again, a religious or a Christian conference. It is a woman's conference. For those of us who are saved, when you say women's conference to us, we instantly think of church. I might say something that might offend some people, but this is just it. In my 25 years of pastoring and my going on 36, 37 years of ministry, I have tapped out of going to conferences where we come with the same issues every year. The same crying, the same tears, the same problems, the same brokenness, the same trauma. It comes a point that we have to get up off the floor. Somebody should now have the solution. We've talked about the problems. We've cried about them. We've petted them. We've brought them to the altar. Okay, where are the solutions? I'm that one. If you're not willing to be a part of the solution, you don't qualify to talk about the problem. I am bringing solutions for the issues. So you might not see, you'll see tears, absolutely, but you probably won't see rolling on the floor. You'll see women elated and happy, but you probably won't see a traditional church shout and jump. That's not the mission that has been given to me. I didn't say it was something bad, but I've told people I'm not sponsoring any more women's conferences. I've done my share where we're just bringing the pain, the trauma, and the hurt. My call at this particular time is to get you up off of your knees, wipe your face, and give you a solution to why you've been rolling for the last 25 years. That's why I'm bringing these women into this room. So that's the empowered women empowering women.
That is awesome, Apostle. And that's so needed because a lot of conferences, you're right. We come in, we get all emotional, we get an emotional fix, we think, oh God, you've done it. And then when we go back out, we're back to the same place we left. It's no transformation. But what you're talking about is kingdom transformation. Like you're coming in, but you're not leaving out the same way. And you have to have a mindset and a determination that when you come in, you're coming in for something different. It may not look like what you're used to, but I'm coming out with something different. I'm coming out with change. I'm coming out with transformation. So if you're in the Knoxville and surrounding areas, make it to this conference. It's not an ordinary conference. So if you looking for a bunch of shouting and rolling on the floor and blowing bubbles with crosses and all this good stuff, guess what? This is not that conference. But it's the conference that you need to go to the next place that you need to go. And that you need to not see that same cycle that you've been seeing for 30 years. And to come and so you can get chains really broken off of you and yokes really destroyed. Because that's the type of conference that this is. You may not get all the theatrics that you got before, but you'll get results. So I encourage you to definitely come to this conference. I have the website that you can go to register for the conference. Yes, it's a conference fee, but guess what? It's worth it because you can go to an expensive restaurant, you and your whole family, and pay about $300-400 for a meal, but you can pay and invest in yourself. It's all about what you want and what you need for this season in your life. We talk about seasons all the time, but kingdom people recognize change and recognize transformation. And this is what she's talking about. She's not talking about church. She's talking about kingdom. This is what kingdom does. So I encourage you to come out to this conference. You don't want to miss it, okay? You don't want to miss it. I done got all excited about the conference. Now I'm like, where? So, Apostle, how can people find you? How can people connect with you on social media?
Okay, you can connect with me. I am on Facebook. I do have an Instagram page, Sheldon Hudson. And I also have ministry pages across all boundaries Christian Church. And of course, my website, simplysheldon.com. Any and everything you need to know about me, business, history, uh, ministry, you'll find on simplysheldon.com. All of the links for social media will be on Simply Sheldon. I do want to say this about the conference. The conference is 2 days. It's Friday evening. Some of you know that the designer, Sergio Hudson, is my son, and he'll be in the city. We're giving a reception and a master's class that Friday evening beginning at 8 o'clock at a venue called Heaven on Earth. You'll be able to find that on Simply Sheldon. And then Saturday, the actual conference will be at Brookside on North Central Street in Knoxville. And so those 2 days, and the conference will begin at 9, from 9 to 4, 4 or 5 is the conference. Then we go home, we flip that whole room, and then we come back and Isha goes black in boots and hats. We're coming back to celebrate who we are. That's why I say this is not religious. I'm giving you pre-warning, and that's why I broke up the two. If you choose not to come to the evening of celebration, that's okay. Come and get what you need on that morning session from 9 to about 5. And then again, we'll break and come back. A lunch will be served. All of the women's conferences in that time slot. But that Friday evening, we're bringing Sergio because Sergio, of course, is a Mongol in what he does. You know, I don't have to toot his horn. It's already out there. But he has, because his mom has asked him to do it, and his heart is also outreach. I reared my children in outreach ministries. You'll be able to interact with him personally and sit down at the master's class and ask questions. But we have a reception. We'll have food and live entertainment from 8 to about 9:30, and then we'll go inside. That'll be out on the patio. This is a beautiful venue. That's a hidden jewel in our community. I don't think a lot of us even know that it's out there. I didn't know. I was surprised. And when I found it, what I had to, put forth for it, even brought the price of the 1-day pass for the reception down. So there are 3 ways to pay, or 3 packages for the master's class, which is open to everyone, especially creatives, not just those who are interested in design and clothing, but artists, media. If you're trying to reach into that arena, into that higher place, those tickets are $50. And again, that gets you live entertainment, food, as well as a seat at the table with a master, Sergio. If that's all you want, that's fine. Invite people out of Atlanta, Charlotte, Chattanooga, wherever you are, you have that opportunity at this price to sit down with him and have conversation with him. And then Saturday, pass only for Saturday. If you just choose to come to the women's conference, it's $110. I'm giving, we're doing all of this. You'll get a glam bag, a swag bag, and I don't give chintzy swag bags, okay? A swag bag and lunch is included in that price. If you want an all access pass, I think that's 140. I think that's 140. Don't quote me on that, but it's on the simplysheldon.com on that page. And that's the empowerment conference. And again, come and be empowered. Come and be empowered. Come and offer. Let us pour into you as you pour also into someone else.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm excited. Invest in this. Women. Calling all women to Knoxville, Tennessee. No matter where you're from, we have an airport in Knoxville. So if you need to fly, you can fly in. We have hotels in Knoxville. So come out and experience something new, because this is what this is, something new and different in Knoxville, Tennessee. So Apostle Hudson, what final words of encouragement would you like to leave with the listeners? I'm going to give this moment to you, that you would just give whatever the Lord has on your heart at this time.
I want all of my sisters to understand. Together we are a force to be reckoned with. Divided, together we're a force to be reckoned with. Divided, we will be dealt with. The enemy fights females because he realizes if women ever unite, and I know this is cliche and we've heard it all the time, and we just, some of you have given up on, relationship with women. Maybe you were drawn to the wrong clan, to the wrong tribe. A lot of times we're drawn to the very thing that broke us. Give it another chance. That's all. Give it another chance. Come sit amongst other women who are able, who are matured enough, who are able to give you the oil that you need. I know that sounds a little bit religious, but it's the truth. Um, no man is an island unto himself. As much as we want to believe that we can do it all by ourselves, we can't. And so come, you might find a new tribe or you might find your tribe. Come, uh, invest in yourself. 100 and come on, sis, $110. We spend that if we go out on a Saturday, buy something to wear to church on Sunday, or get our hair done. It is an investment that will continue to produce for you year after year after year after year, to hear which door to open, to hear the step that you've been missing the whole time. There's no amount of money that is worth that. There's no amount of money that you can pay to get direction for the next move. You can't put a price tag on that. And to know that the monies that you do pay is going to help a sister who probably is just like you or was like you, help her to find that, have that place of reset and a relaunch, to give her room to breathe. And so I invite you to the Women's Conference. I pray that you come, that you invite somebody else, even sponsor someone. Pick up the phone, call your girlfriends out of state, out of city. We got women flying into Knoxville. Absolutely. And the tickets are really good at this point in time. I'm finding that as I'm headhunting some things. So we got women flying, and women are coming from all over to support you, Knoxville. You need to show up for yourself. All right. So I invite you to Empowered Women, Empowering Women. Good night.
I'm sorry. I thought I was talking. On behalf of We Live family, we want to extend our heartfelt thanks to our special guest for outpouring her wisdom, insight, and inspiration tonight. You've blessed us more than you even know. And to everyone who has joined the live, your presence and participation made this moment even more powerful. For those who are catching the replay, we are so glad that you're here too. Your time matters, your voice matters, and you are part of We Live community. Until we meet again, keep growing, shining, and keep believing, because together we live. Amen. We live. So thank you so much for joining the broadcast. Again, I'm your girl, your friend, your confidant. I am Prophet L.R. Shaw, and I bid you good night.